I'm sure you've all had situations where you've been in a conversation with somebody and you've failed to really engage them in that conversation. It's a really awkward, uncomfortable one where you ask a question and you get a one-word answer back. You ask another question and equally you get just a shorter answer back from them as well. In any context, it's a really uncomfortable conversation where somebody's only giving you a one-word answer back, particularly if you're trying to engage them in a conversation. If you want to be smart in order to engage people in conversations, you've got to think about controlling and leading the conversation yourself. And that comes down to the questions that you ask. We've spoken before about using open questions. Open questions are those questions that begin with who, what, where, why, when, how. These are questions that when you ask somebody, you're forcing them into giving you more than a one-word answer. If you use the opposite, which is a closed question, closed questions start with do, can, will, for example. If you're asking somebody, do you do this? The answer you're likely to get is just a one-word answer back. So if you're continually asking closed questions in a conversation, you can always expect that the conversation is going to be a little bit awkward and it's not going to flow as much as if you were asking an open question where you said to somebody, how do you do this? How do you feel about this? What are your thoughts about this? Asking open questions forces people into giving you more information and gets the other person to do the talking. That makes life an awful lot easier for you, particularly if you're involved in sales. If you're involved in sales, you want your customer, your prospect to do all the talking because you want to get as much information back from them as you can. It works in exactly the same way if you're involved in interviewing people. Interviewing people is when you actually want them to give you all the information that you need in order to make your decision. Asking open questions in an interview situation is a really good way of getting all the information that you need from them. Now, of course, what I'm not saying is that you should never use closed questions. Closed questions are really, really good to clarify understanding and to confirm things. Closed questions are those ones where you do actually just want a one-word answer back. Think also about demanding questions. I suppose demanding questions themselves aren't officially really questions. But what I'm talking about is when you say to someone, tell me more about, or describe this to me. It's not officially a question. There certainly isn't going to be a question mark at the end of it. But what it is also going to do is force them into giving you a lot more information. If you want to engage people in a conversation, if you want the conversation to flow, think about open questions because it's going to make your life an awful lot easier.